Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Woody Allen retrospective. As you can see, we're actually going to finally do that rainy day in New York discussion / review. But before that, I just want to say thanks for hanging in all this time. Got a lot of requests to cover this one. This review discussion isn't going to be like our normal ones. It's going to be a lot more loose, a lot more candid. And for some reason, Simon Rad and our special guest, William Hicks, didn't understand how to hold a microphone to their goddamn mouth. So it's a bit echoey, it's a bit crazy, and a lot of people don't appreciate how unsophisticated this podcast is. Well, this episode is definitely one of the most unsophisticated of all. So lay back, enjoy. I had to edit the hell out of this one, but before I go, I do want to say we're going to do not one but two recordings, two discussions for Woody Allen's autobiography, Apropos of Nothing. We're going to have a serious one, which I'm really looking forward to, and then we're going to have another very, very loose one, pretty much like this one, but the next recording will be a bit more serious. So anyway, without a much more ado, if that's how you say it, let's get on with the rainy day review finally. And again, caution, it gets a bit silly.
It's a rainy day in New York. Rainy day in
Hey guys, welcome back to the Woody Allen retrospective podcast. It is I, Donald Wonder. You guys have been waiting for this for so long. So many requests. So much has happened. It's 2020. Me and Simon had the last time we both spoke about Woody Allen. It was the best and worst discussion. Do you remember that, Simon?
No. that shit ain't precious to me, but I'm happy that you remember.
You know, you have so much in common with Woody Allen.
I know.
That's why you're a fan.
That's a big offense to him, man.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, maybe not the looks and not the paycheck, but yeah, okay.
This recording is a little bit different because we've got a third guest. We'll just introduce him now. You've heard him on other podcasts before.
You've all been asking for it. So...
Is that your sexy
I'm
boy?
just fucking your podcast up now, man. He's just like...
This is who you are. I love it. Just William Hicks.
Yeah, Will Hicks.
Will Hicks.
Yeah.
Medical professional extraordinaire.
Medical professional.
Last time you was on any of our projects, it was for the wonderful Captain Marvel discussion.
I still didn't see
where
that.
you were
I still
praising.
haven't seen that film yet.
You was
So
praising
about
me
Captain
last
Marvel's asshole. You know, is
Oh.
it firm enough?
I'm waiting for a comeback for that, and there ain't no back off. It's still just flat. What was the term? Flat as a pancake? Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's not bad though. That's all right.
Yeah.
Getting back to Woody Allen. So
Yeah.
listen, so much has happened with Woody Allen. People want us to talk about this movie that had been postponed. Amazon screwed Woody. Woody sued them. Then they settled. So now Woody was able to release the movie in other regions, and now the movie's out. It's been out for a while. I saw the movie a while ago. Me and Simon watched it together again about a couple weeks ago. And now we're going to just do our official review for the movie. And then we're going to have an open discussion about everything else. So Simon, do you mind? And Will, you saw the movie as well in passing, right?
I saw about 20 minets of it, and then I had to go to work. But what I saw of it, I'll let you know. What you guys have told, or what this arsehole next to me has told me about the film, I'll let you know. I'll give you my little...
No pressure on me. Just do the whole fucking review and then you guys can have a discussion. Okay.
Well, just in case you guys don't know, and this is the first time we're listening to this podcast, which makes no sense really. This is part of a retrospective. Me and Simon have watched every single Woody Allen movie up to 50. I think his next movie is his 50th movie. This time we're going to talk about 2018, so Rainy Day in New York.
2018.
I don't know what year you want to put on it now.
I don't know if it's 18 or 19, but
19,
it's the one after Wonder Wheel.
Yes. And it stars Timothée Chalamet, Elle Fanning, Jude Law, Lev Schreiber. I'm missing Selena Gomez, and one other actor we'll get to later because I don't think she's billed properly, and she's probably one of the best parts of the whole movie. Anyway, so a short synopsis of the movie. So we can get out of the way. Two college students go into New York City because one of them, Elle Fanning's character, is going to see a film director to interview him. Timothy Chalamet is the boyfriend in the couple, and he goes on these trysts around New York. It's raining in New York. He gets into all these hijinks. Selena Gomez, Jude Law. It's one of these movies. I don't want to compare it to Pulp Fiction, but it's a day in a city. All this stuff are going around. You intermingle with all these other characters.
Man, that was,
Pulp Fiction.
I was like,
What the
that,
fuck?
Just a movie where it's set in a day and you jump around
You know
characters.
what? You gotta
Like-
be careful with that, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you're an actual movie reviewer, Woody Allen will be like, "I'll put that shit on the poster here. Rainy day in New York." Quote. Just like Pulp Fiction, Don Wonder, every motherfucker coming out now.
Just
like,
remember, this
Don
is
Wonder guy.
Planet
I mean-
Tyro. Planet Tyro.
You know.
You know what Tyro means, right?
I don't read.
So, well, there you go. That's my point. We don't know what the hell we're talking about, so I can make
Yeah.
such a silly comparison to Pulp Fiction to Woody Allen.
Well,
you
I'm
know?
interested. To cut you off, I'm
Yeah.
interested to see why you think that. What exactly?
He
made
I
you-
just
said
said it.
because it takes place during one day. So what you should have said is like any day that takes place in a single
There's
day.
like millions
Any
of films.
movie.
Yeah,
Name another
but-
one. Name a better example.
One fine day. George Clooney and
I've got loads.
Catwoman.
Boo.
You've got Judgment Night. Yeah, that happens at one. You got loads of these films that happen at one night.
Let's just move on for the fact
Yeah,
that
'cause otherwise the
we
whole
all
thing's
fucked
like-
up
yeah,
now.
exactly.
All right, we all fucked
No,
up.
I didn't fuck up.
All right, so before we talk about how we feel about the movie, I just want to say the reception to the movie has been very strange because when the movie was first being produced, there was all these because the actors Woody hired are so young. Oh, it's Woody again, lacking young girls. A lot of misinformation with the movie, a lot of hullabaloo, and in a way, it kind of raised the movie's desire to be seen. Like, oh my God, Woody's done it again. But I'll just say that I think a lot of hot air because after all this time, after all this waiting, as a big Woody Allen fan, this movie was extremely disappointing to say the least for me personally. But Simon,
Okay, so
you look like it's one of your favorites.
On to the actual review. Thank you for sticking out so long. The movie's not exciting for one. That's for sure. But how can I phrase it in a positive light? So, since I'm reading the Woody Allen book, and when I say reading, I mean listening to the audiobook.
Apropos of nothing, Woody Allen's autobiography. Simon's
Yes.
reading. Oh my God.
Anyway, he talks about that when he was young, he used to play cards and win money. And Anthony Charlemagne's character is a kid who's not a fan of school, hates teachers, is bored at college, just wants to spend the day with his girlfriend in New York, but because she's so infatuated with the interview she's doing as a young journalist student, he's stuck in the rain and he gets to all these hijinks, and he's also a card player. So from that point of view, it's a bit of a typical Woody Allen personal story. So if you're a fan of his personas, characters, life history, if you're reading a book, it's a nice complementary to that. Other than that, the people sound fake as hell. It sounds like it's from a different decade. Like people don't talk like everyday New Yorkers nowadays. They sound a bit more, I don't want to say posh because that's a British word, but a bit more old school 60s, 70s New Yorkers. But that plays into the atmosphere of the movie. But the comedy doesn't land as strong because most of the actors aren't that comedic. Selena Gomez is nice on the eyes, but that's about it. And she's supposed to be the big comic relief character. She comes in. Anthony Charlemagne gets pulled into a scene with her where they have to improvise a movie scene kiss. He's like, I got a girlfriend. Very typical Woody Allen stuff.
Yeah.
But I think what I liked about the movie is that the message is that when you come to New York, the city has its own agenda, which Anthony Charlemagne says, because his relationship with his girlfriend dramatically changes over the course of the film, and this is just one day. And it's sort of like a journey of somebody finding themselves in New York, because New York is a city where every second you bump into an adventure. Now, I don't know about the 10 million people living in New York, boring ass lives, if they would agree with it, but according to this movie, if you want to find yourself, you just have to spend the day in New York, and then your perspective on life, your relationship, and even the relationship you have with your parents, and Anthony Charlemagne's character, to his case, his mother, was a huge influence on his original perspective, can drastically change. And that's the best scene in the movie. Towards the end, the movie with the mom, the scene with the mother.
Her name's Cherry Jones.
that I
Cherry
showed you
Jones.
on YouTube.
Yeah, you
Actually,
should.
because
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you just watch this from the movie, you pretty much saw the best of
Yeah.
the film. The rest is just filler.
Yeah, I mean, I like it when Woody Allen his stories have an actual plot where I don't feel like this has a real plot.
Well, you know, he tends to write these short stories, not short stories, but these notes, and save them.
Yeah, in that drawer we saw.
Yeah, in that box, and
Yeah.
then later expand it to a whole story, maybe, or a whole film, a whole screenplay. And it feels like he just took a bunch of them and to fill out time here.
Yeah.
So he had a basic story that inspired by himself, obviously, because the character wears his clothes and acts like him and plays cards like he did when he was young. So then you add all these short stories of a fiance not liking the way his girlfriend or bride-to-be laughs, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah, Timothy
Stuff like
Chalamet's friend, yeah.
you know, it's like uptown New Yorkers. They live in this beautiful apartment. Everything seems perfect. It's like, oh, what's wrong, man? What's the problem? Oh, there's one thing. What is it? Well, the way she laughs. I just can't get over it. And you're like, really, motherfucker? That's it.
Trouble in Paradise. You know?
Trouble in Paradise.
Let's jump to Will real quick. Will, what did you think of what you saw? Because you saw the first 20 minutes. You actually saw the first part.
It was quite interesting hearing him talk about the film.
I know, because I'm intelligent. You know, talk to more white people. Actually.
Okay, let's go. Okay, we'll do. I'll talk to my mum. So it's interesting hearing you guys speak about the film because I saw the first 20 minutes, and also the book that you gave.
You've been listening to the Woody Allen autobiography as well. Yeah.
Listen to about because it's about 12 hours long. The book, so
the audiobook. These guys are lazy. Yeah.
It's decent. It's decent. Cause I know hardly anything about Woody Allen. Except the controversies.
Sure.
And even that, I don't really know hardly anything about that either. So, listening to it, I listened to the first 4 hours and then fell asleep and then listened to the bit where it got to the controversies with his life. So, hearing Simon talk about the film is literally, I know Woody Allen's film's all about his life, but this one sounds just like what he did when he was growing up. Which is, you know what makes me actually want to see it now? But after
the whole movie, you want to finish the movie?
Because when he was describing it, I was like, and listening to the book, reading the book, whatever, and hearing him describe it, I'll be like, oh, you know what? It's basically him, so let's give it a watch. But knowing that, for what I saw from the film, the first 20 minutes, it was boring as fuck. It was really dull. The main actor is
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, he is not a bad actor. I know this guy hates him.
Yeah, Simon hates him for good reason, to be fair, and we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah,
hate is a strong word. I
despise.
A synonym.
Warmer.
he of course he's played Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Pretty much like as I say, Midnight in Paris, all these films. Because I've only seen about 5 of Woody Allen's films. And about 3 I've actually finished. So,
boo! Go ahead, go on the podcast.
So you can get, a different.
He hasn't even finished the fucking movie. What the hell are you guys thinking?
So look, the actors were all quite very young, yeah. And the ones that are a bit older look young. Selena Gomez, that her name?
Selena
Gomez, yeah.
Not Selima.
Selena Gomez, yeah. She looks like 12 years old.
Like a doll.
Yeah, and she's not a very good actor.
We're just objectifying the hell out of everyone. But yeah, go on.
It's just look. She's not a good actor. I don't think she's a good actor. She had no presence or anything.
Yeah, she didn't have a presence in the movie. Like she was supposed to be like the ray of light in a rainy day in New York, eh?
Yeah.
But
there we go.
Yeah, but, it was all just. She just stole the job from basically an American actress. That's what I'm trying to say.
She is American.
Yeah, what the hell is wrong with you? That sounds like a racist comment I've ever heard of before. Damn, Simon.
Over the wall, yeah.
Well, I was like, with a last name Gomez, why can you give it to somebody with a nice last name, White?
This isn't going very well.
Gomez is more American now than most of the white people's names. But
yeah,
I think
I'm joking. I wouldn't trade Selena Gomez for another person in that role, except a good actress.
Yeah. She. The thing is, after watching the films, like I love Match Point. What me and Simon watched it again recently. And you've got someone like Scarlett Johansson, who's, I think it's very beautiful.
All right, question. So let me stop you there. So if you recast some of these characters, do you think it'll make a difference with the script? Because personally, I think the script is the problem, not the actors.
There we go. You got the debate where it's like,
true.
It's all about the direction, and you got good directors, you got a good script, and you got good actors. Now you can take one of them out, and you can still have a good movie.
True.
If you got good actors, a bad director, and a bad script, you're gonna have a bad film.
A lot of the reviews I read, which I agree with, say that this movie is just completely uninspired. Like, it really feels like he's going through the motions. Let's say let's say that this movie is a part of Woody Allen's life. There's nothing. It's just too basic.
He's pretty much just doing the same film he's done from. I don't know. I haven't seen. I've seen a little bit of Manhattan, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of them.
And Annie Hall, I've seen, and it just feels like he's just redoing the same film he's done before. And maybe this whole thing, he's getting older now. It probably is unexpired. And I think for what I saw, it was just one of the mill. No, I sat down. You guys look bored. I sat down. I was just come from a night shift. I was going off to work again. Watched a bit and I was like, what the hell's going on? And you guys like, I don't really know, to be fair. It's just dull and the actors are boring.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from watching the few minutes I saw.
I want to be a bit harsh on the movie for the simple fact there's a build up to all the wanting the movie, and it's been held back, it's been delayed, and Timothy Chalamet said that he donated his money for his salary.
He just pussied out basically. He just
because of the controversy.
Yeah. So that was kind of a thing like. To me, that's a bitch ass move because you work with Woody Allen, right? You get a bunch of it's like street cred. You get a bunch of street cred in Hollywood that you did a Woody Allen movie. Your career immediately gets a boost. And once you have that on your resume, you can come out and play the Me Too card. And it's like, oh, I will never work with this monster again. It's I apologize. I donated all the money. I'm like, motherfucker, you already got the benefits, and now you're throwing him under the bus. Either don't work with him, period. Like, what did you not know when you work with him that you know now? Nothing. You bitch-ass motherfucker.
The best thing that happened to this film was the whole controversy, because people know about it. I don't think people would care.
Well, that's another thing. The movie, we're recording this podcast at a time where the coronavirus pandemic is still going on. It's coming to June right now. And there isn't any theatre movies because most of the theatre chains are down, right? So a lot of movies are VOD. Now, this movie was held back by Amazon. No, it wasn't getting distributed anywhere. But all of a sudden, about 2 weeks ago, it was top of the charts. This movie was everywhere. Woody Allen's movie that was banned is now top of international VOD sales. And I watched the movie and I was just like, this isn't even him even trying. Really, this is him. This movie is an afterthought. It's like the middle. It's like a passing scene. This whole movie is like a passing scene of one of his plot-driven movies, and nothing anybody does in the movie is of any consequence. There's nothing that happens in the movie except for Timothy Chalamet's mother that really perks you out. Even the rain motif, like rainy day in New York. Woody Allen says even in the book he wanted to shoot a movie in the rain and see how characters act, because I forgot what he said. There was some specific reason that didn't. Even in the cinematic way, it didn't really add anything to the movie.
It's like he was trying to get a sort of gimmick for the film, but it just didn't do it.
I don't want to be harsh and say that, but I think what he tried to do didn't come across, even with the rain, at all.
It reminded me of that Jason Biggs movie they did. Well, anything else?
Anything else, yeah.
Where it's like a typical story for him, but unlike when he did it with Diane Keaton, it doesn't have the same energy. I like the idea that the city is a character of its own, and it helps Timothy Chalamet find himself. Like, in New York, you find yourself because he goes through a character arc. It does change.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he did the Woody Allen persona because it felt like an imitation. I felt like when somebody like Owen Wilson did it, he made it his own.
Yeah.
Or Jesse Eisenberg was quite good. But
again, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree with those two.
Like, Scarlett Johansson, these actors are expensive now.
What's the actor that did the Murder on Orient Express? I hated him in Celebrity because he copied.
The Welsh guy.
Yeah, was it? What was that movie called? He was
in Celebrity. Yeah,
it was Celebrity. Okay,
yeah. He was.
I can't remember his name, but
that don't matter.
Yeah.
People use Google. Again, I didn't feel like some of the notes hit strong, even though I like the movie on paper and thinking bad about it. I don't hate the movie. I just feel like the strongest scene is the one with the mother because it involves actual acting.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet just phones it in as the typical Woody Allen persona. Selena Gomez tries, but she's not an actress. She's a pretty singer and a nice person, but not,
I think a movie being forgettable is one of the worst things of all. It's a waste of everyone's time. I think this movie in its whole filmography is right at the bottom because it's so forgettable. There's nothing about the movie. Even the bad movie, you know how much we rail on about what's the movie that mean you don't like it all? The fucking the chicken, was it the chicken soup, the fish soup,
The rabbit
the
stew.
rabbit soup, Woody Allen's favorite, his own personal favorite movie. I forgot what it's called now.
Magic in the Moonlight.
No, that was
No,
pretty good.
oh wait, no, that's what we call them. Stardust Memories.
Stardust Memories, that's the one. Even there's lots of things about the movie that stands out. He has good comic scenes, stuff like that. But I just feel like some movies, hate to say it, worst thing I'm going to say, show his age. You start to think he's going to see now. The movie before, Wonder Wheel, I think I was very inspired from the directing, the actors he chose, the writing of the characters. It was like a play.
And Cafe Society as well. I think those two movies were, just two very strong movies back to back. What was the movie before that? The one with Joaquin Phoenix?
Irrational Man.
Irrational Man, yeah. Again,
even that was, I didn't love it, but that was inspired, I felt like. Because he had a concept, an idea about a murder, and he went with it. But to wrap up, honestly, this is one of the most forgettable movies Woody Allen's ever made. Personally, I was disappointed.
It's an easy watch, though. So...
Is it easy? Is it boring?
It's like an advert. The whole movie is like an advert.
You could, like to visit New York.
Isn't that basically pretty much 90% of his films? It's like, don't visit New York. Visit Manhattan. Fuck the other parts.
No,
shit.
Nah. He's mostly got most of his films. He's got something to say. This one, I honestly don't know. It could be like a page from his diary over. That movie Radio Days where he was going through his life and. As a kid and stuff like that, even that's presented in a much more interesting way. But if this is a sample of Woody's life, where again, as you said before in the beginning, the characters don't even talk. It's so out of place, even for 2020 or 2019 or whenever it was meant to represent. But I know Woody just makes movies for himself. He says this, I make movies for myself about what I know, what any director does. But it's so out of phase.
I mean, it lacked focus. If the point was to illustrate how this guy doesn't want to go. He's just going to be with his girlfriend. And since he cannot be with his girlfriend for the day, ironically, he finds himself in New York. Manhattan, right? But that wasn't emphasized hard enough because it lacks focus. The reason we like Match Point so much, because that movie is razor sharp. Every scene has a point to it or a metaphor or just a sense of realism.
Layers. Every time you watch it, you notice something different.
And the acting is so realistic. We always praise Woody Allen. Like, he's not English. He hasn't spent that much time. He visited London many times, but he hasn't spent that much time. He hasn't lived here his whole life. But everybody in the movie just feels like an average Londoner. It just feels real.
Very sort of upper class London lifestyle. You got that down very well.
Do you guys have anything to... Simon, do you have anything to say about Elle Fanning? Let's just go through all the I want to give the characters their due. Elle Fanning as a girlfriend trying to get this interview with Lev Schreiber.
Forgettable.
Yeah, she comes off very eager in the role, but it just seems forced. Her whole performance to me just seems like she's just trying too hard. Doesn't seem natural. It just seems like she's reading lines.
Have you seen her in a good film though?
Elle Fanning? I think I have. I can't remember right now.
Wasn't she in that weird sort of fashion show model film with the guy at the Drive?
Oh wait, Neon Demon.
Neon Demon. That's
an
excellent movie.
That's that year. But
was she good in it?
See, that's the thing. I couldn't recognize her from that.
Are you sure that's her? Because that's a really great movie. I watched it. I thought it was really great.
I think she's in it. Yeah, I think it's her. Let me just check it. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, so Liv Schreiber as a crazy director who's having a mental breakdown. Again, some of the things he said, I felt like Woody Allen was kind of echoing through that people don't appreciate him and that he hates the movie. He thinks it's a complete trash.
But he has done that before.
He's done that many times. He's done that so many times.
It's a bit part. So Lee Schreiber, I don't know. I know he has a TV show that people love, but
Jason Joe Donovan, was it? Is it Ray Donovan? Ray Donovan, yeah.
It could be any name. It's just any generic white guy name, you know. It's like,
and by the way, it was her in that film.
Oh really? It was her Neon Demon, Elle Fanning.
Then I feel a bit bad because she was strong in the beginning, but went more and more forgettable. So I'm like,
and she's meant to be a character you're not meant to like either throughout the movie because you know what she's gonna do. She's just naive and selfish, and even at the end when Timothy Chalamet kind of breaks up with her, spoiler, and you can tell that she isn't really fussed. Like, wait. She's sitting in the carriage, and you're just like, bitch, you don't care.
Well, she don't care now. Is it? So I didn't see this bit. Doesn't she care because she's lost the opportunity with somebody else, or lost the opportunity to get the film? Because
He goes into a tirade before like why they should break up and why it's not right for her. He dumps a lot of information on her and then kind of ditches her, and then she's left like it's like she understands what he's saying is right, but it just makes her more unlikable because she doesn't run after him first. She's sitting there like,
because maybe she just sees him as maybe she can use him for something. So
what do you think, Simon? Because you wanted to say something. Go on.
I feel no. I mean, all the assumptions are correct, but basically, I'll tell you, dumb motherfuckers, how real it is. No, I'm kidding. No, that basically he found himself, so he knows exactly who he is, but she doesn't know it yet. So what basically he's saying that we need to break up because you don't want me, because who you are is not a good match for who I am. You want to mingle with movie stars. You want to be a groupie, basically. You know, you want to live your life that makes you happy. Go back to the university you love and you will be very successful. I hate that shit. I'm going to stay here in Manhattan and do my own thing.
Yeah, and can we just rewind a little bit? The scene where he had the epiphany and has become this evolved character is when he's with his mum, Cherry Jones, and she divulges something about her past to him, which he didn't understand. And the thing about that scene is, I think that acting that she develops and the things she's expressing to him is something that elevates the movie in a very big way. And it just immediately makes you think, why isn't the movie about her? Or why isn't she a bigger part of the movie with him?
Yeah, because she was much more interesting. Start with that scene, right?
You know what, Simon? That's a great suggestion. If the movie started with that scene, and then he went to the city, you know, with her, and he was in. I don't know. I think.
Or the movie could have just played it back. Oh, it's basically because she's a theater actress, I feel like, and the movie's written like a play, so she can really just carry the scene with dialogue. Where all these other kids, they're used to special effects, makeup, all this other. Stuff going into enhancing your performance. Like you mentioned Neon Demon. She's so great in that movie, but that director, what is it, Nicholas Winding Refn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is a character in the film. Like his direction is an entity in every scene. When he uses slow-mo, the way he uses lighting, it's alive. Woody Allen likes to pull the camera back and just let the actors play out.
Yeah.
So these young actors, we see one person who's a talented actress, but forgettable, and then Mr. I'm gonna play the piano even though I suck at it.
Oh, that bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Anthony Charlemagne. I'm like, is this guy just imitating what he saw in other Woody Allen movies, or nothing really stands out? Then comes a seasoned theater actress. She reads the dialogue and just becomes the character, and it's interesting, it's captivating, and that's the most memorable scene in the movie. If more actors of that irk or background would be there, I think the movie would be more effective. But
it's not just that. What she imparts on him as a character changes him. So it's a pivotal part of the movie. And when you see that scene in the dailies, okay, I'm talking like I'm kind of fucking director. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm just like, we got something really special here. We need to rework this movie. But I know Woody Allen, too old, too tired, just like, fuck it, just get it out there.
He can pull another match point and redo this movie from a different perspective and do it better 10 years from now.
A Rainy Day in New York, the Snyder Cut.
Well, see that 88 or something? We'd be dead by then, man.
Well, you never know, but Match Point is a second try on crimes and misdemeanors.
Yeah, that's what we say. And people, we actually got a comment, someone saying, "How could you ever compare the two? Crimes and misdemeanors, so far superior, so far superior."
Is that another Woody Allen's film? Yeah.
You get comments on this?
You son of a bitch. No, there's no point tearing apart the movie anymore. I didn't like the movie. It wasn't really worth the wait. And I honestly...
Was you actually like,
No. And even when we saw the trailer, hold on. When we did the last recording, we even said, when the trailer came out last year, we saw him, the synopsis, everything about it said, this is a mediocre Woody Allen movie. The only thing, ironically, we didn't bring up this actor. The only thing that I was like, oh my God, Jude Law.
Yeah, I like Jude Law.
Fucking hell. I can't even remember him in the movie now.
Yeah.
Jude Law in this movie is another waste. Complete waste. I'm not saying he's bad in the movie, but I thought he was a big character. I thought he was like the character. Him and Charlemagne be going off each other. No. He's just there and he isn't. So another waste, but But he didn't seem affected, talking about like the controversy with the movie. He didn't really seem that affected. Everyone else got kind of brought down. Selena Gomez was attacked by the Pharaohs. All the women, obviously, were attacked by the fathers of the Me Too movement. How could you do this? Blah blah blah. Timothy Charlemagne threw the white flag, said, "Oh, give up." And as for Jude Law, he was like, "I'm Marvel bitch now. I got Captain Marvel."
Yeah.
Here's his time back to you, son. Will. So yeah.
Do not relate me to that film. Yeah, I've got nothing to do with that film. Yeah? Nothing to do with the film. I wish.
I don't know what episode of Voice and Mail podcast that was, but guys, I'll link it down below to see what this whole thing with me, Will, and Captain Marvel was about.
I keep telling you, man, you need to do that cross promotion. You need to let people know you do other stuff. Take the 5 listeners from one and combine it with the 3 from the other.
We already tried that, Simon. It didn't really take that well. So you can imagine the Woody. Here's a fun fact, Will. People, the reviews we got for this podcast, going behind the curtain, are like, you guys have your hearts in the right place, but you're just amateur. You sound like amateur film students. I'm like, fucking hey, that's great.
Yeah, I can understand. That's what you want, isn't it? People that want.
I don't really care because, unfortunately,
what cracks me up about people is like, look, if you think anything you listen to on the internet is a legitimate review, you are an absolute fucking moron. You know,
what is a
second
review?
that.
It's an opinion.
It's
So
just
everybody has
exactly.
anything.
Like we on purposely just go and watch the movie, give an opinion, no extensive research, no behind the scenes, no like. Okay, this is now me factually breaking down the film step by step for you so you can analyze it and understand it from a filmmaker's perspective. I'm just telling you what I thought when I watched that movie. Watch the movie for yourself and make up your own mind. Don't wait for somebody online to tell you how to feel or think about
People
something.
like that.
Don't be a freaking sheep. You know, all
People
these
don't want to think for themselves.
yeah, but all the pretentious pricks that pretend like, oh, this is a review. I'm gonna tell you now what you need to think about this movie. I'm like, shut the fuck up,
with reviewers, it's like people that study film and study English.
Yep.
And they work at Tesco's.
Well, no. Well, the ones that are lucky enough to get a job or whatever. What they're taught at university and places like this is to analyze everything they see. So if it's English literature, when you read a book, I know people that do English literature, they can't enjoy a book no more because they just analyze it. So they can't just get into it. They're analysing every little aspect of it.
I feel like playing the violin right now.
Hey, people that watch films do exactly the same thing. They can't enjoy the film. They have to analyse every little part of it and break it down. People that do all these studies at university that analyse society, they break society.
I hear what you're saying, and before you keep going on this tangent,
it's not to do the podcast. I know. I'm just saying.
No, it's fine because I just want people to understand. I've heard the comments. You guys should not be allowed to watch Woody Allen movies because Woody Allen is I forgot the name.
Beautiful. Oh,
wow.
That comes later.
No,
isn't that what people are saying?
No, I was going to actually bring him the highest praise and say,
I'm just trying to trigger on them all.
Yeah, they are. Trust me. But hey, listen. I think just again, as guys who's watched every single Woody Allen movie, this is definitely a lower tier Woody. There's so many other Woody Allen movies you can watch. If this was your entry point to Woody Allen, the good news is you got a lot more better films to watch. I'm disappointed, but again, I just don't think it's even worth getting upset about. And if you enjoyed the movie, great. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know why you love the movie. A lot of people did like the movie, and a lot of people are happy Woody Allen, ironically, even after all the controversy and the film getting locked away, now he's at the top of his game. I'm just like, I mean, the movie's given him, this is another one of his best-selling movies. And the only thing
do you know what's funny with this whole lockdown? Movie like production and companies, they're making so much money from this VOD. And they're all thinking, hey, why are we going to cinema for? Why don't we just like let people pay £20 or whatever and watch it at home? We're making so much money. So, but that's another discussion. But
no, it's true. That's what we've had this discussion on another podcast. But yeah.
So.
And Woody Allen, ironically, for someone who's lambasted and hated, his book's selling immensely well. This movie's selling immensely well.
The book's very good. I would suggest people that.
It's so funny.
That's a whole other. The book is on a whole other level. We'll talk about the book later. But yeah, the movies, whatever. Simon, I'll let you have the last word before we wrap up this discussion on the movie A Rainy Day in New York.
I would say just watch the movie and make up your own damn mind. because like this motherfucker right next to me said.
Will, that's who's next to him, by the way.
Yeah.
That's who's pointing.
I
In
will
this
pay
time.
you some compliments as motherfucker, okay?
He was.
You were saying. Back on track. Filmmakers make films. Teachers break down films. So don't listen to anybody that breaks down films. If anybody who has actual talent and understanding of film will make a film. People that try to overanalyze and review things have no clue what they're talking about, and they're just giving you their opinion.
Just like us.
And exactly. This is not a review. This is an opinion. We're not pretending to overanalyze the movie. If I want to contribute to film, I'll make a film. That's it. This is just an opinion. So watch the damn movie and listen to your own opinion. You might love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Basically, what you just said is people that can't do teach.
Exactly.
That's basically what you said.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I agree.
But I do like the fact you got them, again, I'll wrap up and say this. You do have them snotty Woody Allen fans that think they're on a whole nother level of understanding, and then there's everybody else, and we being everybody else, shouldn't even be able to talk about these movies. But guess what? Fuck you, we're here. We got the podcast.
Hey, but there's people out there thinking that you're the snooty Woody Allen people.
No, not really.
There's people that will think everything. So just
true, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, we're not those guys.
I wish you could get the snotty Woody Allen people to try to convince Woody Allen that his movies are good. It's like, you don't understand. This guy is the most brilliant artist of the past 50 years.
He thinks
his movies are trash.
Yeah.
He would be like, I think, outside of Stardust Memories, they're all just kind of failures. It's just a waste of steroid.
You guys are really. What are you gonna say? Something, I will.
No, I agree. Because if you're gonna talk about the book later on, or get the audio book, I think it's much better because he reads it himself, which is the big part.
Which is great. Yeah, he does narrate his own audio.
12 hours, man. You get your money's worth. That's
We're gonna have a deeper discussion about the audio book.
The film. That little bit I saw, thought it was boring. I'm not a massive Woody Allen fan.
We just had you on the podcast because you were just in the room.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You in my
So if
house.
you guys are wondering why the fuck is this guy on the podcast,
And I saw 2 minutes, so I thought, you know what? Let me give my my insight.
Your 2 cents.
My 2 cents. My 2 pennies.
another person of color talking about a Woody Allen movie that didn't hate it. That's a win.
I like Woody Allen's. For the films I've seen, I enjoy it. One of them is one of my favorite films, like Max Point. I love that film.
Yeah.
And I watched that film when I was 16. And I say the more I watch it, the more it's like an onion. Lovely layers,
Lovely layers. You cry that much? Okay.
I don't quite.
That's the saying. Anyway, guys, Woody Allen retrospective. We've reviewed all the other movies. Go on to our playlist on YouTube. We're going to be talking about the book in time. Someone else also have to shout this person out, which I don't even have his name right now. Maybe I'll hold on.
What a great shout out.
I was just about to say I'm going to use the power of editing and editing right here.
But you could have just edited and
Let me just shout out this.
But it's more comical and entertaining if I do it naturally and say I forgot. But this
shout
guy,
out to my brothers out there. Black Lives Matter.
we're going to talk about this guy in much more detail. Great Woody Allen. It's called. By the way, Woody Allen is Innocent on YouTube. Tons of views.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You posted on Facebook. It's like an hour.
I did post on Facebook as well. Yeah, it's 2 hours and plus actually.
And the guy protests too much, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's like keep it short. Like 5 minutes in, you could tell he's innocent. You don't really need to watch all the 1 hour of the.
You need
video.
to believe all
2
women.
hours. 2 hours.
Me too.
Hashtag time's up.
Exactly. Believe every woman.
I'm gonna link that video in the description as well, fools, and you'll have the title and everything. But yeah, it's been a long time, but I'm glad to see here with the guys talk about the
We shouldn't
movie.
have left you.
Huh?
It's been a long time. We shouldn't
Oh,
have left you.
Rest in peace, Leah. But yeah, hopefully Woody Allen's next movie won't take as long, so we can talk about that one. But yeah, we're now Simon and all the people listening begging us to do it. We're finally up to date again. And we can actually just talk about them every 2 years instead of we did it all in 1 year, right? Before all the other movies.
Again, I don't remember. It doesn't matter to me that much, but save those precious memories.
Still channeling Woody Allen. Woody Allen's your spirit animal. I'm telling you, man. He's right there in your heart and soul.
I don't want to go into any anti-Semitic comments, so just leave it at that.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're back to the podcast up there, guys. Thanks for listening.
I mean, you can't.
Can't say nice thing about
Oh, my
anything.
goodness.
No, I'm just saying you can't call another person a spirit animal because people will be like offended.
Jesus, what is this, Simon? Come on, you're not that triggered, are you? I thought you weren't SJW.
I'm not triggered. I'm talking about people getting triggered over nothing. You're like, you called Woody Allen an animal? How could you?
No, okay.
He's
a but he's a human being as well.
Guys, thanks for listening.
What the fuck?
We'll see you on the
And you
next
thought I
recording.
was gonna.
Nah, Simon's always head arsehole. You can never take that spot. All right, guys, thanks for listening.
Man.